Hi everyone, I'm Kent Louie, science teacher and talking head. Talking about science education and broadcasting from beautiful Vancouver, Canada. This is episode 110, and it's been almost a year since I last posted, so I'm glad to be back. Now, do you get your students to create drafts or prototypes of their work? If not, you really should, because not only will your students produce better products, but doing so also gets them to show process and improvements. And these are things that cannot be substituted by AI. But you know, some teachers may feel that students won't demonstrate their process unless there's a mark involved. And therefore, yes, we should mark the drafts too. But how do we mark the process in a meaningful way and not just like a check mark at the end to say, you did it, right? So today, I want to show you one framework and rubric I developed that you can apply to any project if you want to track and mark process. But you know, before I continue, handouts for this episode are available at realsciencechallenge.com/EP110. That's 110. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Now, here's my framework for marking process, but first, here's what I used it for. Okay, so every year I get my students, my physics students, to build balloon-powered cars. You see? So that they can get practice applying their knowledge in real-world applications and, you know, building and testing prototypes over time, and usually over 3 or 4 weeks. Now, usually I do get students to reflect upon each prototype after they've tested it. This year, I came up with this as a more efficient framework for them to reflect. And more importantly for me, to record a mark, because I included a rubric down below. And up until now, I was at a loss of how to mark the reflections in a more objective way. And this was my solution. So this is what I got them to do this year. After testing their prototype, they got to record their performance up top. And then record or identify, 3 things they'd like to improve on for next time. They got to rank these 3 things either as high priority, medium priority, or low priority, and 1 for each. Then they need to explain down below why they want to fix this. And of course, down below, they got to come up with a plan to fix it. All right? And that's it. That's the reflection right there. As for the marking component, I'm using a 4-level rubric down below. If students are able to identify and rank the priorities, but they don't really give a huge explanation as to how they're going to do it or when they'll do it by, then that's going to be developing. Okay? If they're able to, rank the 3 priorities and identify a measurable outcome, like I want to travel 10 meters further or 5 meters further, that would be proficient. And if they gave me some sort of time component, like I want to get this done by next Thursday, and they have everything else, the explanation, the goal, then that would be extending. And for those of you who have heard of the SMART acronym for goal setting, that's like specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound, I'm using the SMART acronym for the rubric, all right? In my gradebook, I'd enter this under planning and conducting, or perhaps the evaluation competency. Okay, and I think it can be used for other assignments too, like getting students to create rough drafts of their presentations, or I've used something similar for comic strips. All right, and they'll do these prototypes, get feedback on it, and reflect upon it before it's due. And this low, medium, high reflection can be used for that. So I encourage you to give this a try. All right? Now to you. Do you have your students create drafts or prototypes of their work? And if not, what's stopping you from doing so? And if you are doing that already, how do you assess student progress in these drafts? I'm very curious to know. So please send me an email or put a comment below and let me know how you do it. All right? That's it for this episode. Please smash the like or subscribe button or leave a comment below. And handouts, once again, are at realsciencechallenge.com/EP110. Thanks for watching. And let's talk science education again soon.